Dun, 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 yeah, we're here to do Shrek 5.
Dude,
No.
no.
This is Spoiled It, where we do a spoiler-free discussion now. We give a review of a movie, which today is Mission Impossible 8, the final reckoning,
Yep.
right?
Yep. It
Not-
was originally Dead Reckoning Part 2,
Yes.
but then I guess they just decided to change the title, which, by the way, as somebody who likes collecting physical media of films, is particularly annoying because Dead Reckoning Part 1...
Oh, it says Part 1
yes,
on there still.
it already
yeah.
came out,
I forgot
obviously,
about
like
that.
2 years ago on physical... And yeah, the case of the Steelbook says Dead Reckoning Part 1, which now doesn't make any fucking sense because the new one's going to be called The Final Reckoning. So you're
Dumb studio
people are
executives.
going to look at your collection and be like, "Where's Part 2?" And you're like, "Final Reckoning's Part 2."
Yeah. But I am Leon. I am the host of Two Pose in a Pod, and I am being returned today with Dan. And we are going to be reviewing this movie. So yeah, we're going to go into our spoiler-free discussion now. And so what did you think of Mission Impossible 8? The supposedly final Mission
Supposedly
Impossible
final,
film.
which I don't buy for a fucking second. I
Yeah.
think probably the final one with Tom Cruise.
You think they're going to just reboot it and like have like Glenn Powell or like something like that?
Oh, if it was Glenn Powell, this might be a hot take. If it was Glenn Powell, I would probably throw myself off a bridge. I do not understand the hype around Glenn fucking Powell. I really don't. I don't really enjoy his movies all that much, and I don't really enjoy him all that much. But anyway...
he's not bad, but he's not like amazing either.
No, he doesn't
He's
have
kinda
half
mediocre.
the charisma that some of the more memorable action stars
For sure.
of this generation do. But anyway, point being, not about him, just about Mission Impossible.
Mhm.
I don't buy for a second it's going to be the final Mission Impossible. There's just no way.
I don't think
Like,
anyone does. I think going into this, everyone was just like,
though I will say, it hasn't exactly been the cash juggernaut the last
no.
5 or 6 years that it once was.
Budget-wise, it has.
Oh,
I heard
yeah.
this had supposedly at least a $300 million budget,
I believe
but
it.
they're saying more, I think.
I think, and yeah, and that's kind of the point I'm making is that like the box office for it, especially for Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning, really haven't been that crazy. And even Fallout, which was and is the highest in grossing in the series, which is 6, didn't really gross that much.
Is that the one with Henry Cavill?
Yeah, that
Okay.
one. Did that even crack $1 billion? Let me see. I don't think it even cracked $1 billion, which, that's kind of a...
Is that technically the most successful one?
I don't know if it's the most successful, like, revenue-wise, but it is the highest grossing.
Okay.
But I don't know if overall it was the most, like, lucrative of the Mission Impossible series that they made. Yeah, that didn't even hit 800.
Really?
Yeah. And that's
Wow.
the highest grossing one in the series.
Huh.
So yeah, like thinking about it in that way, and thinking about it too, that Tom Cruise has been the boss since number 3 and has been funding it basically by himself.
Yeah. Because that's when he started getting more into the stunts and everything.
I don't
right?
think he quite cares if it makes a profit. Like as long as it breaks even, I think that's all he really fucking
It's just
cares
his
about.
passion project at this point to do like crazy shit he wants to do in his life.
And he gets to do it. If it breaks even, he essentially got to do it for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got to jump out of a plane and do a halo jump and have it filmed for free. You know what I mean?
And he is still one of the biggest stars. Like these movies do well. They're
Because
just kind of
him.
it's I think they do break even at the end of the day, and they're maybe even successful like with VOD and stuff eventually too.
Yes, that too.
But weirdly, like I think internationally they kind of do really well because this is number 5 best movie, most successful movie of the year worldwide. But domestically, I don't think it
It's
did.
like 11th,
as well.
right?
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Not even in the top 10.
Yeah.
So, discussion of it, whether or not it'll be the final aside, because honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that could go either way. It depends on if Tom Cruise wants to keep making them, even if he might not necessarily star in them.
I think he could be like a mentor sort of character going forward, where he's
to like a newer
lesser,
IMF agent or some shit.
Kind of like Ballerina with John Wick. Like
Armis.
just having an appearance, of course, but actually kind of they did it in a way that was better than I expected, where they had him in it actually kind of with the plot and everything too.
Nice. It wasn't just a cameo.
Yeah, like he was actually a little bit more involved than you would think. So I'm thinking they could do maybe something like that with the character of Ethan in the future.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you could still have him do some physical stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't have to be as extreme as it has been. Although he's shown no signs of slowing down. Because let me tell you, I'll talk about it because it was in the trailers, like very prominently in the trailers. So I'm not worried about talking about it. The plane stunt.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
plane stunt that happens.
It's
in
on the
film.
posters too.
Yeah, that's one of the craziest things that's ever been put to film because it was literally there's CG in the sense that they paint shit out because he was wearing a wire, he was wearing some safety gear, and they get rid of all that in the final cut, obviously. But
really well, actually, too.
Really well, yeah.
You don't even notice it at all. It's not like something that's distracting.
He's talked about those tension wires before, though. The way that they're designed is like they don't act on you unless your body moves below a certain axis of distance.
Really?
Yeah, like because he talked about it when he did like the jumping. The scene in Fallout when he jumps across the alleyway and he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
He talks about he was obviously wearing a wire for that too, but he mentioned that like when he hit the wall, he wasn't slowed down at all because the safety wire is there if you fall a certain distance.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It doesn't actually slow you down while you're wearing it until you fall far enough.
Huh.
So he hit that wall with the full force of his body hitting that fucking wall as if he literally did that jump. It isn't slowed. He's got padding on. He wears pads on his stomach and stuff.
Even though they're protected and stuff, like he still felt the full impact of that, essentially.
And that's the same thing with the plane stunt. Like he had a safety wire, but that doesn't have tension until he falls.
Yeah.
So when he's climbing around a plane and fighting the forces of air friction, constantly pushing him around and like holding himself on the plane, he's doing that for real.
No, it's
like
crazy.
He might as well not have a wire.
I've seen some of the behind the scenes of it, and that's been part of the marketing
60.
Been part of the marketing of the movie.
He's like what, 61 or 62 now?
Yeah, no, he is.
Yeah.
But also one of the things we should have brought up is I have not seen every Mission Impossible movie. Dan has seen every Mission Impossible. Rarely I do not do this for franchises because I think it's just weird to like go in and see some and then not see another. Like usually I try to see all the movies in the franchise. Yeah. But I have not done that with Mission Impossible. I've seen Mission Impossible 1, Mission Impossible 3, Mission Impossible 4, Mission Impossible
you haven't seen 5 or 6, have you?
7 and 8, and that's it.
Which I'll say, for the most part, and we'll kind of talk about this at length more later during the spoiler part, Mission Impossible is one of those series where you don't necessarily have to see all of them to really, especially the earlier ones, because the first 4, well, technically the first 5, are narratively unlinked.
Yeah.
Entirely. Like, they're basically
besides the character of Ethan and the crew.
And Luther and Benji, like, they start showing up in future ones. Yeah, like, for the, like, in all intents and purposes, each Mission Impossible film,
in terms
all the way
of
up
villain
to 5,
or something like that.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all narratively unlinked. Like, they could just be, like, and they can be, and they are just little independent stories. Yo. And honestly... So I want to go back to the beginning because I didn't even really like give my opinion necessarily. I liked The Final Reckoning. Like overall, I really liked it. I thought there was aspects of it that were a little bit like draggy for me, but I do miss, I think, ultimately something that brings this movie down a couple pegs for me. I do miss the older Mission Impossible series when they were narratively unlinked. I kind of liked it just being like the adventure of the week for Ethan Hunt. You know what I mean?
In this last one especially, like we'll have to go into it more later, but
this last one especially in the last two together.
Even though I haven't seen all of them, it seems to retcon the previous entries where it links all of the movies essentially with this one in a way.
At least one of them.
Yeah.
It links one of the movies with it. One of the older ones that till now has been narratively unlinked.
Yeah.
You know, at most you only ever heard a reference to the events that happened in previous films. They were never like important to the plot, though.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, ever since like Rogue Nation and Fallout were also narratively linked, but not in as intense a way as 6 or 7 and 8.
Yo,
you know what I mean? Like you haven't seen those ones, but
and those are considered the best ones
They
by
are.
a lot of people.
They
right?
are, and
yeah.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that.
I literally haven't seen the best ones of the series.
Up until Fallout, Mission Impossible was one of those movie franchises where somehow, some way, it just kind of continued getting better and better and better with every entry. Maybe after 3, because like we've talked about, you haven't seen 2, and one of the reasons we didn't watch 2 is because there was one night we decided to skip right to 3 because I was like, I'm going to be honest with you, Chief, you're not missing too much by not watching Mission Impossible 2. Like, I like it. I've seen all the movies, like Leon mentioned, but I do have opinions.
It's like
on
kind
them.
of a filler in a way.
Yeah, it's the weirdest one in the entire series for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
Not even just like the content of the film, but even like the context of the film is weird among all of the Mission Impossible films. It's really strange.
Huh.
Like,
well, now that makes me curious to watch it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I think you should still, but when you gave me the choice that night that we watched 3 to not watch 2, I was like, if you're going to give me the choice, I'm not going to watch 2.
Do you think it could be a fun movie to like rip apart, like kind of roast or something, or do like a riff on?
I don't think it'd be fun to rip apart because I couldn't really rip it apart. It's still entertaining.
Okay.
Like, don't get me wrong, I still like it. It's just weird. Like, it's really hard for me to like illustrate why it's weird.
I'll be the judge of that.
Or how it's weird. But to me, it's just weird compared to all the other ones, especially where it lies. Because, like, I feel
John Woo directed it, right?
Yeah, it's more of an action film than a spy thriller.
Huh.
Like a pure action film, like early 2000s hard-boiled action.
Oh, okay.
You
so
know
it
what
feels
I mean?
tonally different because of that.
I'll tell you one plot detail right now because it's not that important. It's the only movie in the entire series where Ethan is an avowed MIF agent the entire time.
Oh, really?
He's never rogue at any point during Mission Impossible 2. The entire mission, he does it with the full support of the IMF, and they're on
all
his
the
side.
other ones that happens at some point.
Yes, literally every other film. Usually at the very beginning.
It's a staple.
Yeah, usually at the very beginning, he's now rogue from the IMF for XYZ reason.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a staple of the series. So that's one reason, narratively, that makes Mission Impossible 2 just really kind of the odd one out.
Yep.
Because it just doesn't happen. It takes away what's become... But it was so early in the series that it hadn't really been a staple yet.
Yeah.
Because you'd only had one movie before that.
They're still figuring things out, like what direction they kind of wanted to go with it, since it was so early.
And that's ultimately why I like 3 a lot, because it feels like the first Mission Impossible film where they really nailed the formula down, and then they started kind of just building off of that every other entry. And that's where...
Like everything's been kind of a build from 3 that we've gotten since.
That's going to be part of my criticism for Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning, is the fact that that system that they figured out, that formula they figured out, where they had certain character traits about Ethan that they could focus on and exploit. They had certain ways he went about doing things that were pretty routine. Like, every movie, he always has this batshit idea of like, okay, we have to stop the bad guy from doing X, but he won't do X unless he has Y.
Ethan, what the fuck?
He won't do X unless he has Y. So we have to give him Y in order to stop him from doing X. Like, that's a plan he comes up with in like every Mission Impossible film, and every time people were rightfully like, that's so, why you want to give him the thing he needs to succeed? And he's like, yes, and then we're going to stop him after that. Because...
It's like a chess game. He's kind of like Lex Luthor in a way, but like a good Lex Luthor or something.
You know
like, I'm playing chess with them. I'm a fucking that good of a secret agent.
You know what they call that? They have, because like there's a literary term for it. It's called a Xanatos Gambit. And it's based off of, like, I think a Greek figure who did something like that. But it's basically like you're betting on people acting in the way that you think they're going to.
Classic Tom Cruise.
Yep. And they also call it the Batman Gambit. Because Batman in the older comics does that a lot. Like,
maybe that means Tom Cruise can be Batman in the James Gunn DC universe.
Just old. I could honestly see him as an old Bruce Wayne.
I know. I kind of could, too.
He's not tall enough, but they could, like, easily get around that and make him look taller. But he's got, like, the presence for it. You know what I mean?
All right, let's pivot. We're gonna just talk about him as Batman now.
No, we're not gonna fucking pivot. No, that'll go on forever. That will no longer be about Mission Impossible.
But so what did you think of like the plot with this? Because I think
so. That's what I was gonna address, talking about Ethan's like character traits.
Yeah,
it's gotten to the point they figured that out. like, okay, we're gonna make this a thing in like every film. This is just gonna be something Ethan's known for doing, and he always succeeds.
Yeah.
But you can only do that so many times before you really need to start upping the stakes. It's also like we were talking about earlier. We usually don't like to talk about the films we're going to discuss before we start filming the episode.
Yeah.
But we did a little bit this time, and this is something we talked about.
Well, also because we're late on this movie a little
Yeah.
bit too, and because this has spoiled it. But we're not gonna ever go into like some death or
super
something
detail,
like
yeah,
that.
which we
Like,
didn't. But I
yeah.
just brought up that I think a shortcoming of Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning is the fact that they have officially gotten to the point where they've done the old nuclear bomb thing so many times that it's like, okay, if the ultimate grand scheme of the bad guy in this movie is to blow up a nuke,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, again, you know,
Yeah.
like it's gonna be.
But do you think people are also surprised by the fact that they kind of went that route too?
No,
Yeah.
not at all. But that's also not a good thing because now people are expecting them to keep upping the
Exactly.
stakes. But they up it to a point where it's so...
Where it's almost like Death Star 2 or something. Where they
Yeah,
kind of
like
just like, we
literally the
just do
world.
the entire world instead
Yeah.
of just this one country or something like that.
And like I said, we'll get to it in spoilers. The antagonist of Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning ultimately does have deeper grand machinations beyond just blowing the world up.
Well, that's where I thought like this movie was baked a little bit, was they had this whole like AI thing that they did in here with the villain, and I thought like
Which
that
if you
was
saw
a little...
Dead Reckoning, you know that already.
I thought that, yeah, and I like Dead Reckoning a lot, actually. I think I like it more than Final Reckoning, even. But I thought just the whole AI thing was weak, and it's kind of like the main villain of this movie, but it's just very convoluted.
It's very
and stuff,
topical,
too.
but it is very convoluted.
Yeah,
like it's topically relevant
They
to
could
like
have
what's
actually
happening in
done
the
something
real
kind
world,
of
but
interesting with it, too, but like... And ultimately, it wasn't terrible. It did... Ultimately, they did with the AI story what they wanted with it. I just think they could have done more with it. And
yeah.
ultimately, what we got was kind of even a little convoluted for me. Not like heavily, but...
And I'm going to be honest, the AI was just straight up a little corny to me sometimes.
It was.
Like
It
to be entirely honest.
It didn't get as terrible as you thought it possibly could.
No, it
but,
wasn't.
like,
It wasn't
still
as.
corny, yeah.
But there were certain things that, like, you know, in Dead Reckoning, he talks to it a couple times. He talks to it more in this film a few times. There was just a few things that the AI would like say with like its artificially deepened digital voice that I was just like, damn, this is a little cartoony. Like this is actually just like just cartoonishly evil, like
No, I
mustache
agree.
twirling evil that I've really never seen from this series up till now. Like usually, all the villains in the films have kind of this like almost like Mads Mikkelsen in Casino Royale in the Daniel Craig one,
Yeah, I've
the
seen that.
Le Chauffeur,
Yeah.
like he's got like the scar and everything, or he has like the condition where he cries blood.
Yep.
Most of the Mission Impossible villains kind of have like the same like bad guy charisma he does. You know what I mean? Like they seem
It kind of get like James Bond. Well, obviously that makes sense because of the whole
Spy thriller,
thing.
yeah.
But like it definitely seems like they're Bond type villains.
you can buy that they're a little sinister, but maybe even like the slightest bit well intentioned sometimes. Like they're not good.
But
Like
they're just going extreme.
they're
with
batshit
whatever
crazy, but
direction
like
want.
they have a system in mind where they're the good guy in their own heads, which is why they're like willing to fight against IMF and Ethan so viciously, because it's like they really truly think they're doing the right thing most of the time.
Yeah.
With some exceptions. That's another thing that makes Mission Impossible 2 fucking weird. Also, Mission Impossible 3, Owen Davian is just a psycho.
Owen Wilson?
Owen Davian, Philip Seymour Hoffman's main antagonist.
Oh yeah.
In Mission Impossible 3, he's just a psycho.
Oh yeah. I like.
He's like the best villain in the series.
That's
for
what
me.
it seems like.
Like
yeah.
he's like the best.
I thought the villain in this, Asai Morales or whatever, the guy that played Deathstroke in Titans.
He's a little cartoony sometimes too.
He was very just
Even
like,
in Dead Reckoning.
There was just times you're like, dude, shut the fuck up.
He's like, Ethan,
yeah.
you remember that night all those years ago when I framed you for killing your girlfriend? Is that why you're so mad at me?
Literally that.
It's like he
and
literally
you kind of
talks
just
like
tone
that.
out at points.
Yeah, it's like how many times they tried to make him like a generational hater of Ethan, which at times they do succeed in making it seem like he's.
But why was he at the same time? I don't know. I just didn't get.
Well, I think
he didn't fully feel the like some sort of grudge or something
The-
in a way that I think they were kind of trying to come across with how he was
Personally,
with Ethan in the movie.
I did kind of pick that up in the subtext though, because to me it kind of seemed like he saw Ethan as like a mirror of himself.
No, I think you're right.
If
I think
he decided
it just
to
wasn't,
use his
to
skills
me,
for
it
the
wasn't
good for a good
portrayed
thing.
well.
No.
Too much though. Yeah.
But like I said, it is in the subtext, but not really well. There's
Yes.
just a few scenes where like you can tell he's like really trying to convince Ethan to like not do the right thing, and Ethan is just he's
But
Ethan, so
basically
he
it's-
stubbornly is like, no, I'm gonna do the right thing, even if you try to kill me.
it's
and he
him
like
and
pisses
the
him
AI
off.
that are like the villains, essentially, right?
It's mostly the AI, but he's naively trying to use the AI to his own
Yeah.
ends because he wants to control it to control the world, basically.
That's where I feel like the plot was like convoluted for me at points, like where
Yeah.
I almost couldn't even tell what the fuck was going on sometimes. But I think
What
it's 'cause-
aspect could you not figure out what's going on?
I think it's because I was just, like, well, I think it's also because this one, like, which, like we said, we'll go into later, is kind of connecting all of the other ones. And since I
Except
haven't
two.
seen all of them,
Except two.
and
Guess
since
what?
I haven't seen all of them, like, I feel like, even though I've seen most of them now at this point, like, I just felt like there was, like, a piece missing or something where I was like, I feel like I would appreciate this more if, like, once again, like I do with most things, like watched it from beginning to end instead of just seeing like kind of random ones like I have now. But yeah, it's just something narratively to it just didn't work for me in this one. Which I was really liking the last one, and I thought they were gonna pick up on that.
Kind of just jumped the shark.
Yeah.
You know, like they just kind of like they brought.
I think the
this
pacing
concept-
was worse in this.
Oh,
too.
the yeah. So when we get into the spoilers, which I think we should do pretty soon.
Oh, for sure. Because like
I think
there's not much we can. There's a lot since it's the final entry that we gotta basically talk about spoilers essentially at some point too. Yeah.
it can't really stand alone on its own in a vacuum because it is, like you said, relying on the older films, one in particular, for its plot to make any sense.
Yeah. Which they cut back to and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, honestly, do we want to get into spoilers right now?
Let's give we'll at least give like our rating, not like a score, but like just how we basically feel about it.
I'll put it in the context of the Mission Impossible films. I think 4, 5, and 6 are better. I would put it like 6, 4, 5, 7, 8. No, sorry. 4, 5, 3, 7, 8.
Okay.
2 or 1, 2.
Okay.
That's how I would put it.
I don't like I didn't really like the first one.
So I think it's better. I think it's better than like the earliest films, with the exception of 3. But I think it's the weakest, if you could call it, modern entry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would consider modern to be like 4+.
Yeah, I think like honestly the biggest draw with this movie is the stunts, which
Some of the
they've
best in the
shown.
series.
Yeah, which they are, and
Yeah.
they're much more extended when you watch it, which is cool. But you've seen a lot of it in the trailers and stuff already too.
Right.
So
Yeah, they show off, which of course, they're going to show off their biggest set pieces in the trailer. That's how they get people in the seats. But
I feel like there's people like me who might just be like, especially if they haven't seen all of them, be like, I might just wait to watch this at home. Like, the stunts look cool and stuff, but I don't know if I'll go see this in theaters. But the big drive right now, I guess, to see it in theaters is that it's actually out of the top 10 now. But some theaters, like theaters near us even too, are still playing it, and I think it's because it's not on VOD yet and stuff.
Right,
like
so
most
they're
movies are
trying to milk it for every cent they can possibly get out of it, which is a smart idea.
Tom Cruise is probably paying them off. He's like, please, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, I don't think
Got to make that budget back.
I don't even think he necessarily cares too much about that. He just wants people to see it.
That too, even, yeah.
I think that's pretty much.
I think he
say
really.
what you want about him. He's passionate about movies.
Oh, for sure. Like, and you see him at all these other premieres and stuff
Yeah.
for movies and stuff.
People in LA see him at movie theaters all the time.
That's awesome.
Like, he's just out about
Just
in the city, just
Tom
like
Cruise sitting behind you.
yeah. Like, imagine just going to a movie theater and just like, oh shit, hey, what's up, Tom?
What the fuck?
I've seen like
Wow.
people post pictures of that before. He poses with them in
Ethan
the
Hunt
freaking seat.
sitting behind me.
Who's another guy that does that? There's another guy in LA that does that. My cousin moved
Quentin
out there.
Tarantino?
Yes. No, it is Quentin Tarantino. My cousin moved out there years ago, and all of a sudden, like, my aunt, their mom, told me one day, they were like, oh my God, guess who Daisy saw in L.A.?
I think you might have told me this.
And I was like, who? And she was like, Quentin Tarantino. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. They went out to go see with their friends, like, a movie at the theater, like, downtown L.A., and he was just there.
Maybe that's
it was
a
like
sign,
a horror film.
Maybe that's a sign that Quentin Tarantino is going to have Tom Cruise be in his final film now.
That'd be fucking crazy.
I would
Well,
love
I mean,
that.
hey, Tom's
They've never
proven-
worked together.
He's
That'd
proven
be
in the past that
amazing.
he's willing to take on those kinds of
He's a
oddball
good actor,
roles.
too. I'd like for him to get back to more dramatic stuff. But, yeah,
Do
so...
shit like Tropic Thunder again.
Yeah, exactly.
Les Grossman.
I know people want to spin off of that. But, yeah, so I guess to cap things off before we go into spoilers for me, I would say that I really liked this. Pacing I thought was a little off because this is 2 hours
Very
and
bad.
49 minutes.
It's the longest film in the series.
And yeah, it's the longest film in the series. It's probably like 2 hours 40 without the post credits, and there's no post credit scenes or anything, so you can leave after it's over. So it's only like really 2 hours 40, but
So
you
long.
feel it.
Yeah, you do feel it, especially at the final act. It felt like it went on forever, which at times was a good thing, I think, because the final act is really good. But yeah, it just is like you're like, wow, holy crap.
No, literally. I was checking my watch a few times, but once again, I don't. My opinion. I don't know. That's just coming from the opinion of someone who hasn't seen every film in the franchise.
Right.
So.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. As
yeah.
someone who has seen every film, it is probably the worst pace in the entire series.
Yup.
It's not the worst paced movie I've ever seen.
But I guess that's good for viewers because I'm sure there's plenty of people just like you or just like me who are like going to be like, okay, so how is that for someone like me?
It's not the worst I've ever seen by far. It's just probably the most glaringly bad aspect of the film.
Yes.
Like that's probably the one thing I would say is a straight up negative.
Yeah.
Is the pacing.
But would you say it's worth seeing in theaters and stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. If you can find it in like a nice like deluxe theater,
like RPX
yeah,
or
it's
IMAX,
not gonna break the bank
even
for
though
you.
It's probably not in there anymore.
Yeah,
but if it's possible, definitely
do
see
that.
it.
The sound design is spectacular too, and I think the sound design in all of the Mission Impossible films since 4 has been like best in its class.
Oh yeah,
every single time.
And cinematography and everything too. So yeah, if you're looking, the director Christopher McQuarrie here, he does a great job, and he's been directing the last several, right?
Since I think 6. I think.
So Fallout.
I think he took over. I think he took over 5
Wow.
because Brad Bird did 4.
Yo.
What's his face did 3.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. John Woo did 2, and I honestly forget who did the first one. But yeah, Christopher McQuarrie's been doing all of them since 5, so this is his 4th.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so definitely I would suggest go see it in theaters.
Yeah.
That's going to be the best experience for sure.
I would
to see
rank
that
it
on
as
a
the
big
second
screen.
best one I've seen. I think the second to last, the Dead Reckoning Part 1, or just Dead Reckoning now, is my favorite of all of them that I've seen.
I really think 5 and 6 is going to shift those rankings
Really?
considerably for you. I really do.
Ooh.
We should watch that ASAP because
Hell
and it's good to watch those two back to back because they are also, like I said,
yeah.
narratively
Like a
linked.
Part 1, Part 2 kinda.
Sort of. The main antagonist in the 5th one is present in the 6th one to a degree.
Okay.
But it's still a new main antagonist.
Okay.
You'll see when you see it. It's done well.
It's
done
picks
well.
up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, the stunts are great, the performances and the screenplay and the writing, best in the entire series.
Okay.
Like easily.
I'm looking forward to it then.
I'm not trying to oversell it, just in case anybody
End up
listening
hating
also
it.
hasn't seen those. Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, they're actually kind of dog shit. I kind of want to watch 2. Oh yeah, I like that better.
2's the best.
2's number 1.
I just like that mindless, dumb action.
Dude,
that early 2000s action where everyone tries to mimic the Matrix.
I know. Yes. Dude, there's so much slow-mo in 2.
Yeah.
There's so much slow-mo and flying birds and doves and shit in random scenes. Like, it is actually the most 2000s film ever. And in some ways, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you're watching it.
Oh,
you're
yeah, those
like,
can be fun.
and you're like, this is so stupid, but I'm, like, having a great time. But then other times, there's certain scenes that are so melodramatic, you're like, all right, dude. Like, anyway, yes, go see it in the theater. That is my suggestion. And I suggest you see it. It's a really good film.
So, spoilers?
Yeah, this will be
All right.
Abandon hope, all ye who enter here.
You heard it. Spoiled it.
Spoiled it.
Time to spoil it.
So I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off right now and say that I think the funniest thing, since we just ended talking about Mission Impossible 2, I'm going to bring that up again. I'm going to keep harping on this, is the fact that in the very beginning of the film, there is this interesting kind of exposition. Like, Ethan is apparently, after getting...
I did not like that.
No, me neither. No one did. Everyone fucking hated that part of the movie. I think your dad thought it was pretty cool.
My dad did think it was cool, yeah. He was like, oh, they linked everything. I was like, that was kind of dumb.
I liked the idea of it, but it just
was
felt so forced.
Lazy. It was lazy, too.
It felt so forced, but basically Ethan's, like, on the run, because at the end of Dead Reckoning, he, like, escapes from Gabriel, and he gets that key for, like, the Russian sub or whatever, that you don't know what the key does yet at that point in the last film. But the president, who the last time we saw her was the director of the CIA in Mission Impossible 6.
Yeah,
but she's now the president.
To me, I felt so lost with this arc because I'd never been introduced to this character, and I was like, was this a character introduced before? Like,
it was pretty out of left field for her to suddenly be the president, and I don't think that got mentioned in Dead Reckoning. They kind of just dropped that in your lap, and she sends him like a message, like trying to convince him to like come like back to the U.S. and like turn the key in. Because they need the key to like control the AI.
And the fucking key and the key and fucking convoluted.
And then she just she's like, your entire career for the IMF, you have pulled off the impossible. And it's like showing like this montage, this like compilation of
music
clips.
And everything.
Yeah. It's showing this compilation of clips from like all the previous Mission Impossible films, which again, conceptually, I kind of like.
Yeah.
But like the little monologue she gave just felt so, like you said, like lazy and kind of forced. It was just like this little exposition they threw in there.
It's not bad acted.
No.
It's just, you're like, this is kind of filler. Like, why is this even in here almost?
But yeah, it's just this little like...
I think they thought it was going to add stakes, but it didn't really add a whole lot of stakes because it's just people in a room kind of just freaking out. But honestly, should have been more freaked out than they were.
I liked
the world, the entire world was at stake with fucking like possibly being nuked.
I like Nick Offerman's character, the general.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
fucking
some
Parks and Rec.
Some very very good side characters in Final Reckoning, I will say. Like
acting great.
The submarine captain, Captain Bledsoe.
Acting wise,
he was great.
Everyone.
The admiral, the rear admiral on the aircraft carrier, she was cool as shit. They had some really good. Oh, that's one thing that's crazy. They bring back Bill Dunlow from Mission Impossible 1. The analyst guy who was the guy working in the room when they in the Pentagon.
Yeah.
When they steal the knock list.
You're gonna be on our team now because we need to link everything.
I loved that. He became such an important character, and I didn't expect that.
That was a better use of tying all the movies together than some of the other shit in here that just felt mega forced.
They closed up a 7-movie long plot thread, and then also made him a relevant character in the rest of the film. He didn't just show up and then leave.
Yeah,
he showed up, became important, actually helped them advance the plot in a really cool and badass way.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he continued to actually be present and actually still help the whole thing. He kept helping.
Yeah.
He just kept being an important character. All the characters had their roles to play.
He was literally part of the team, basically. That's what I thought was kind of cool about it.
Yeah.
Because I actually have seen the first Mission Impossible. And
I never for a million
was
years
not a big
expected
fan
to see him back.
But they kind of pulled a Thor: The Dark World, with the MCU.
They made it retroactively cooler.
Or Incredible Hulk, where they try to bring it back and be like, guys, we're gonna redeem it, and that thing we set up, we're gonna pay off on that, so you'll forgive us.
And they did that, I think, in that instance, very well.
Yeah,
they executed.
No, I think so too. Even though he kind of comes in late to this 2-hour and 49-minute movie.
Yeah, it's about halfway through.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought that was something they did very well. But yeah, they do that big info dump. It's basically an info dump. It's basically like a catch up, like a what you missed.
No one likes those.
If you for some reason,
it's like that cut of Blade Runner where they just have the narration at the beginning. No one likes that.
Leon not seeing a few of the Mission Impossible films going into this was one thing. Not seeing any Mission Impossible films and going into this,
you'd be so lost.
You're kind of setting yourself up to be, even with that kind of half-assed info dump at the start, you're still setting yourself up to be like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Like an hour into the
They
film.
drop you into some fucking just
Not even an hour, like half an hour.
crazy shit.
But
Crazy convoluted shit.
Yeah, so like the plot from there, that kind of sets the tone for the pacing of the entire film, I think.
Yeah.
That really long opening. You don't get the opening credits. You know how like every Mission Impossible film starts with like an opening credit sequence, and it's usually got like the dun 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 dun, like it's like some
we did at the beginning of this.
Dude, exactly. It's like some version of the classic theme with like a themed credits sequence, which are usually really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I love that this series does that so often.
Yup.
But this one, it takes like 15 minutes to get there. I thought they just weren't doing it at a certain point.
Tom's like, we got time.
Dude, like they do so many scenes. There's like 5 scenes between the beginning of the film and when you get the opening credits. And it's like I said, it's like nearly 15 minutes or something like that. And at a certain point, like when him and Haley Atwell were like being interrogated, I was kind of sitting there and I was like, I guess they're just not doing a credit sequence for this one, which wasn't the craziest thing to me, honestly, because I was like, well, if it's functioning as a part 2 effectively to Dead Reckoning, which it definitely is, like based on what was happening in the film, I was like, maybe they figured like, oh, if we want someone to like watch this in one sitting, maybe like if they were at home, like you watch Dead Reckoning, take like a 5-minute breather, and then like watch Final Reckoning. Which please don't do that.
Fuck that.
Yeah, please don't do that. That would be a lot of movie, and you might be sick of Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
You're like halfway through Final Reckoning and be sick of Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
But then boom, all of a sudden, like pretty much a minute or two after I thought that, randomly, it was like when he makes like that one-liner towards Haley Atwell's character, and then they start running away, and you hear the boo, and then like it kicks off, and then it starts doing the title sequence, and I was like, oh. I looked at my fucking watch. I was like, holy shit, how long have we been sitting here? It just happened.
Like, wow.
And again,
took a bit.
That also sets the tone for how the pacing in this movie is going to be the whole time.
It's going to drag.
Certain scenes are going to be
let
like
things run for a bit.
But it's almost funny because I felt like, for me at least, every time that started happening where I was in a scene and I was like, damn, I wonder when they're going to like...
I think they thought that it was a good idea because they really do that for a lot of the stunts in this. And you love it with the stunts when they let the stunts go on.
Right.
And you're like, oh, this looks great.
But they do it for every single scene in this one.
But they do it for a lot of the scenes.
And that's what I was about to say is like... what the funny part for me is like it felt like every time that started to happen, and I had the thought of like, damn, I wonder when they're going to get back to like what was happening before and like show us more of that. It felt like 30 seconds after I had that thought, they did. So it's like it was only really overstaying its welcome by
just
the slightest
slightly,
margin each time.
Exactly.
But the fact it kept happening is what made me pay attention to the fact it kept happening. No, I completely
agree. Like, there's enough
it
here.
It wasn't egregious.
There's enough here, and it's because it is the final entry, and there's so much going on, like we said, that you would think you would be very engaged. And I think it's going to be different for certain people, especially like how we talked about how I haven't seen as many and he's seen all of them. That might be a factor. But, yeah, I think the big question people probably have with this movie is whether they kill off Ethan or not, which they do not.
They don't.
So
they kind of give you a little cock tease at the very end there, like. So it's right after the plane stunt, unsurprisingly, is the final stunt of the film. Like, that's like the grand finale, which that lasted a lot longer than I thought it was going to.
It is amazing.
And then, like Leon just said, that's when you want it to last long, and it's literally just like 10 straight minutes of plane-to-plane combat between Ethan and Gabriel at the very end of the film.
Just eat all my popcorn.
Dude, it's fucking insane, the shit that they're doing in this scene, and it's great. It was the perfect way to end the film.
Yeah.
Which I think that's really what saves this movie from being like unenjoyable
when you
to
end
me.
On a good note.
You end it perfectly.
Yeah.
Like it really felt like, although all the build-up was kind of hard to get through, it still was sort of worth it because the payoff was so strong.
Yeah, I think that's a good call about the movie. Is that like since it's so long, the build-up I think is a little painful at points, but it does keep you entertained though. I just think it's because of like some of the stuff I was talking about with it being a little convoluted and stuff too, and then the villain and stuff being a little weak, and more with both villains even, and just corny and stuff. So, and then there was also the death of
Luther
Ving Rhames.
Yeah, that
too.
was also pretty well done and very sad.
Yeah.
I think it was a great send off to the character though, because like they kind of show how this is another interesting thing
Was
that
he
they
in it since the first one, right?
yeah the
Yeah.
only one that he doesn't have a significant role in is 4, but he's still in it. He
Okay.
shows up at the very end, like Ethan's telling him the story of like the movie as it just transpired. Like they're having
I
they're
remember
having
that.
they're having
Yeah,
a beer,
yeah.
and Luther's like, "You really said mission accomplished. You really said that." Because like Ethan's like telling him the story, and I loved that. I loved how they showed like him and Luther
Like,
being
we gotta
bros,
have
like
him
getting
in
a beer.
this.
But he literally is a main
He
character.
was busy filming some other movie, but we had to have Ving Rhames come
Right.
into this.
He's a main character in every single Mission Impossible film besides 4.
That's awesome.
And so like he really
I really like that character too. So yeah, that was like an effective moment.
one thing they do though,
It
like
made
that's
you
interesting.
So sad. You were like, no.
Yeah, dude. him he's like sick in this film. Like apparently like since the end of Dead Reckoning, because like it makes it clear that several months have passed since Ethan got the key. I guess like
he's got AI disease.
he's got something. It seemed like they were trying to like make it like it was cancer or something, because he's living in like they have like an underground base in this old train tunnel, and he's living in like a makeshift like
That was their
like
little
hospital.
hint of like, all right, guys, fill in the blanks. We're
Right.
giving you a hint of what it could possibly be.
Right.
Kind of narrow it down a bit more now.
But he basically gets put in this trap by Gabriel, because he develops like a virus that will be able to trap the entity, which no one else on planet Earth was capable of doing. And so Gabriel wants it to use it to basically blackmail the entity into doing his bidding, because then he'll be in possession of the only thing that can actually kill the AI, and he wants to exploit it for his own ends. So he goes and visits Luther. He steals the copy of the virus, and then he puts Luther in this kind of like...
It's too bad his death is caught in, like, this is so convoluted.
Right. But I mean, at least the character moment between him and Ethan was like
yes,
fine.
And that's the main thing that matters.
They give him like, he's like in this little, he's like locked up, and he's got this bomb that Gabriel left there. It's this like 25 like megaton nuclear device or whatever. And I guess Luther's like...
And that's just something I have to get past, because it's like, that's just those spy movies in general.
They get
where like they
convoluted.
always just get
Yeah.
so convoluted, or try to like do another twist and
Right.
another twist.
You just
got
got to focus on the in-between moments,
Yep.
which are usually the stronger ones. But yeah, and then he basically has this like monologue with Ethan, and Ethan's like, "Oh, is everything all right?" And Luther's like, "Well, I can defuse this bomb partially. I can stop it from going thermonuclear, but I can't stop it from exploding." And so basically, like, he has to sacrifice himself to save the city they're underneath. Like, it'll take out like all of the sewer tunnels and everything, but
And
it
of
won't
course,
blow the city
Tom
up.
waits there as long as he can
Even though
with
Luther
him.
keeps telling him to leave.
Tom, you gotta leave. It's at 8 seconds. No, I'm staying.
So yeah, it's done really well. It's like it's one of the first times where like you can just genuinely tell like Tom as Ethan, like Ethan is just like absolutely like beside himself, because usually he can always like figure something out. He can always get the mission done. Like there's,
But you just
he
see
literally
his-
makes a career out of pulling off the impossible, and then he's confronted with the fact that he cannot do anything to
And
stop
Tom
this.
does a really good job with that in that scene, where like you can see he's just like
Getting
his mind's
frustrated,
scrambling,
yeah.
like trying to think of like some sort of situation.
Yeah,
But,
he's like asking Luther. He's like, "You got like bolt cutters, like something?" He's like
Yeah,
looking for a
yeah.
way to open the door, and Luther's like, but you could tell Luther's like accepted it.
Yeah,
That's the crazy thing, is like Luther has accepted. He's like, "This is it for me. It's over. We all
and
knew."
even Ethan knew that he couldn't really ultimately do anything. I think
Yeah.
even in that moment,
That was a
too,
really strong scene, and it's good because it comes at a point in the film, like halfway through the film,
where
basically,
it really needed
where it
something
really needed
like
something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it really succeeded in kind of roping you back in. Not that I was really falling out,
No, I think that's
much
a good
to
point
begin with.
too.
but I kind of was like, I was involved, I was invested, but I was like, it was weak. It wasn't very, very strong at that point. That really
raised
gets
the
you.
stakes.
It gets you back in because you're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, they just killed off Luther. Like
Yeah.
they ain't fucking around.
Exactly.
So now, anytime something happened to a main character, like for example Benji when he gets shot at the end,
Yup.
I was
And
like,
since
oh,
this is the
shit.
final reckoning. You're
yeah,
like,
I was
oh,
like,
shit,
are they gonna fucking kill Benji too? Like I
Yeah.
literally thought they were gonna do it.
No, it added stakes.
They like it didn't like. And any time in the past, if Benji ever got shot or something, I'm
Mhm.
like, he's gonna be fine. You know, like he's gonna be fine. Like he's not gonna die.
And that helped with that third act, I think, like we were saying earlier,
Yep.
make that stronger and everything too.
Yep, they really. I think that was
At
a
least
well-timed.
upon initial viewing.
That was a well-timed character send-off.
Yeah.
And they did it justice too. Like they still made Luthor go out doing something badass. You know, like, and ultimately Luthor is one of the biggest heroes of the fucking movie because it's his virus that allows them to finally beat the entity.
He's
so,
the
like,
reason they even win.
Yep.
So he's like the real hero in this.
And like Ethan said it himself that the reason that Gabriel killed Luthor after taking the virus is because he knew Luthor is the only person capable of making another one. And he needed to be the only one with it so that he could successfully blackmail the entity.
Love it.
So it was, so that part was like fantastic.
Just because he's a genius. Luthor.
Oh yeah, Luthor, yeah. I mean, like, even from the first movie, they kind of go to great lengths to showcase how Luthor is just like, he is like the tech guy of the planet Earth, basically. Which is kind of, I love that he has that role, dude. Like, he's always like,
just like a hacker, like illegal, like
right.
sort of one where he can do like the behind the scenes shit.
He's like a white hat hacker. He's like, you know, been around the block, but he's working for the good guys. And also, Ving Rhames is just such a phenomenal actor.
Oh yeah,
fucking Marcellus Wallace.
Anything he's in.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's just such a good actor. So he brings a great gravitas.
Was he in Lilo and
role.
Stitch too?
Yeah, he's Bubbles.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
he has
I
a
remember
couple
people
voice
were really
acting
mad
roles.
he wasn't in the new reboot. I remember I thought people.
He should have just been Bubbles. He looks like him.
I know.
Like it's almost like they modeled him in Lilo and Stitch after Ving Rhames.
Yeah. Like it's like one of those Pixar, like kind of slightly more exaggerated versions of a character, and
but
everything.
He could easily play him live action.
Oh, for sure.
Like, he would kill it.
Because he had glasses and everything too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And the little soul patch, which earlier in the Mission Impossible series, he usually has a little soul patch.
You guys got to recast for Lilo and Stitch 2, which
Ving
they
Rhames,
already announced.
Ving Rhames. Bring him back. We need Cobra Bubbles.
Is there any other spoilers you wanted to go into, or any other thoughts you wanted to say on Mission Impossible Final Reckoning?
So the only other thing that I thought was actually very interesting, and it's funny because before we went to see the movie, I had actually talked to Leon about this, about how back when the movies were unconnected and they were all just kind of like the adventure of the week in the life of Ethan Hunt.
Yep.
Mission Impossible 3, the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman, like he plays like the best villain in the series, Owen Davian.
Yeah.
The whole MacGuffin, the thing that they're searching for in the film, the thing that's driving the plot is this like device called the Rabbit's Foot. And Owen Davian has Ethan steal it for him. And the whole time throughout the film, there's a couple moments where Ethan asks what it is, and no one will tell him. And you never find out. Like, at the end of the film, everything resolves, and you never find out what this thing was. All you know, it was in a cylinder with like a biohazard symbol on it.
They're like,
and it was
just you wait.
And it was in some lab in Shanghai, in China.
You're gonna see someday. We're gonna explain that.
They never do, until fucking Final Reckoning, where like it turns out that thing was the entity. It was like the primordial. It was the primordial data that would become the entity, way back then. And you find out that is what Ethan stole, and that's what Owen was looking for, and that's what Ethan inadvertently gave to the United States.
I don't want to say I didn't like that, but like it just seemed like forced.
Sort of, but I liked how they kind of used it as an angle to showcase why sometimes people's criticisms of how Ethan operates are valid.
Okay.
Because by doing what he did for Owen Davian, he inadvertently gave the United States access to the entity.
So he basically created...
He's inadvertently responsible for the entity coming into existence.
Okay.
By doing something he did in the past.
So it's kind of, this one is almost like him coming to terms with how he kind of created this.
Yeah, like no matter what he does, like his actions have a ripple effect no matter how much good he does. And that's just something he has to learn to live with. And that's also something that,
well, I think that's
again,
one of those
people
things
criticize him for.
That's like maybe like with my opinion of this movie, especially too, like we said, like because I haven't seen all of them. I think that's like one of those things that's really not clicking as much for me as it does for someone like you. You know what I mean? Yeah,
because like I said to you, like every film he has some except for 2.
Yeah.
Well, no, he even does it in fucking 2. Even though he remains an avowed IMF agent the whole time, he still pulls some bullshit where he purposefully gives the villain the thing he's looking for to then stop him for good later.
Yeah.
So like he still pulls off that bullshit.
Pulls
like,
some elite shit they would not be happy about.
Right. Yeah. But But they kind of use that as an example to show you how the IMF, like, even though they have their agents and they're in, like, contact with them, they don't really control how they do things because they're so secretive.
Okay.
And that's why if you're disavowed, what it means is the IMF will just, like, not acknowledge your existence to protect the United States from, like, pushback if anyone was to discover that they had, like, a secret agent.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Doing shit against, like, national treaties and stuff.
Wow.
So they kind of used the second film inadvertently to explain that to you, and that's why Ethan could get away with doing some batshit crazy thing like that, because the IMF doesn't really know how he's completing his mission.
Yo.
They just know he's completing it.
They're just like, fuck it, he's getting the job done.
Which is, you'll see
it's like some Archer shit kind of in
literally,
a way, but like he's not as much of a dick.
You'll see in 5 and 6, there's actually like some subplot where the CIA is like actually like lobbying the United States federal government to like dissolve the IMF because they disagree with their like outdated tactics.
Huh.
Like basically the head of the CIA is like, listen, like this isn't a world of secret agents and gadgets anymore. Like what you guys do is outdated and like having a secret agency undertaking overseas operations with zero oversight is like flagrantly like against the law.
I feel like
it's actually a very interesting little subplot.
I feel like after seeing this, I want to like watch them all from beginning to end
again,
now and
like
see if like I can actually have a different opinion on these movies and stuff too. And I feel like that could also be fun because like I've always thought for this podcast too, it would be fun if we did like
retroactives,
almost like an entire series or something.
Right. Like we do like 1, 2, 3,
and then we can do rankings and stuff before like a new one comes out. I think that would be fun too. So we could always revisit Mission Impossible in that sort of way.
What does that say? IMDb it says it has like a 7 point.
So yeah, we don't usually rate things on this podcast, but we talk about what other people have been rating it and whether we kind of think it's above that or meets that or is below that. So the general consensus of this seems to be about like a 7.4 out of 10.
That's the user rating?
Yeah, on IMDb, which is
pretty good for
usually
IMDb.
pretty much the average. Because if you go to like Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, I just feel like you need to. I usually like average all of those, right? Add like the user and critic of each of those, and it usually comes up. It comes out to about what the IMDb score is for most things.
Nice.
I feel like IMDb is pretty fair. The people on there. So yeah, it has a 7.4. I'd say I'm a bit lower than that.
Yeah.
With my rating, I would say. I think it's a little high for me, but not by. I wouldn't say I'm much lower.
I mean, yeah, I would actually say I'm about in the same boat as you. Just comparing it to the rest of the series, I would probably give it like a flat 7.
Yeah, I think it's more in that range for me. Exactly.
I think.
But to me, like. If anything's like above kind of like a 7 for me, I think I'd rewatch it at least.
Just because like
it's got like that rewatchable factor at least to me where I enjoyed it enough where I'd rewatch it.
I think the biggest thing is that like pacing and plot coherence are really important to me.
Yeah.
Personally, for like how much I really really enjoy a film.
And its rewatchability and stuff.
Yeah, like that's why forever one of my favorite action films ever made is Dredd 2012.
That's quick.
That it's quick. It's like less than 90 minutes. But let me tell you, does it pack so much crazy shit into the wildest hour and 27 minutes of your life?
It's a fun ride.
It looks amazing. It's well acted. It's tightly scripted. It's tightly choreographed. No wasted movement.
And no sequel.
Yeah, fuck my life. But it's just such a strong film, and it's just an example of like you can do a lot with a little if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whereas this just feels kind of bloated. I feel like 20 minutes less runtime maybe.
This could have
trimmed the fat.
It should have been at most
scenes.
2 hours 30 minutes.
Take away the first 10 minutes entirely.
Yeah.
Literally take all that away. Start off.
No exposition.
Make it clear that Ethan is on the run from the United States government. Make that clear.
Even though someone like me hasn't seen the past entries, you don't need this like clip thing of all the past movies and stuff. Get rid of that.
It ultimately didn't really like recap them.
Yeah, exactly.
You just
no
saw
audio.
some
There's no
scenes.
audio. There's just scenes.
You
so
just
it's
see
like
some
that's not
out of
helpful.
context scenes. You don't really get like a full recap of the last. It's not like last episode on Dragon Ball Z. Like
that's why the studio's stupid because they just want some shit like that because they feel like the audience needs it, but then it just ends up being something stupid. So.
Well, and it's not the studio, dude. Tom Cruise is the executive producer. He wanted that in the film.
Oh, you think it was Tom?
Dude, he's the executive producer.
Oh.
He wanted that in the film.
That felt like a studio. I don't know as much about movies, but like I just felt like that was like almost like a studio interference thing. Where I
Tom
was
wanted that, dude.
Wow.
He would have published it himself if they were like, well, no, we don't want that in the film. He's the boss. He calls the shots. I know.
That was so big.
That's something you have to consider with all of these films after 3, is that he is the executive producer. Everything you see in these films,
he's got the ultimate decision.
He decided that was going to be in there.
He's got at least the ultimate say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, obviously he didn't direct it. He didn't. Well, he helps write them as well. But he didn't direct it. Obviously, like any bad direction or like bad cinematography, that's not his fault.
Yup.
But everything else, yeah.
Well.
That's why he became the executive producer, is because he was being told that certain things he wanted to do for stunts were too dangerous and they couldn't insure him for it.
I heard that.
So then he was like,
it was like all an insurance thing. Yeah.
So he said, okay, well, I bought the rights to the film franchise and I'm now the executive producer, so no one can tell me no because I'm the boss.
Fuck.
So if I want to do a stunt, I'm going to do the stunt.
He figured out a way.
Yep. Which is honestly kind of a G move when you think about it. But yeah, so that's like certain things in this film. If you felt like that was a weird inclusion, remember, Tom wanted that in the movie.
Yeah, okay.
So you can't.
I guess that makes actually perfect sense, but I kind of was blind to that for a second. And was not thinking about that, even though I have been aware that he's like a producer on this for a while now.
So.
But yeah, so anything else you have to say about Mission Impossible? Final thoughts for the Final Reckoning?
Final thoughts on the Final Reckoning?
Yeah.
Not much beyond what we said, honestly. I like I said, I think I get 7.4. I wouldn't personally give it that, but I get that. I think it was a fun ride. Like I said, I do suggest you see it. I do suggest you see it in theaters. I think they couldn't maintain
and
the
that's
same...
still a good score.
Oh, the score, yeah. I mean, the score has been phenomenal.
And that is a fair score for what this movie is, too.
Yeah, it's a super fair score. I think ultimately at the end of the day, like, they couldn't maintain the same level of quality that they established with like 5 and 6 forever. That was just unreasonable. It wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Not with big budget movies like this, at least. You know.
Yeah.
But regardless, I still think they managed to do a pretty good job wrapping it up the way, that they wanted.
Yeah.
And I think it was satisfying. Like I said, I think the finale was, like I said,
they always just use the plot to push forward the
off.
Stunts, and that was ultimately what like this movie did. Like even though we talked about how that's kind of its flaw too.
It is everything that makes Mission Impossible distilled into the longest movie in the franchise. So that's kind of like mileage may vary on whether you think that's a good combination.
Yeah, this might be someone's favorite one.
It might be like your dad.
Exactly.
Yeah, which if it was, I wouldn't try to change their mind.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's one of those movies where I think.
And I'm glad
there's a lot of interpretation.
I'm glad someone got that much enjoyment out of it too.
I think this is one of those movies where there's a lot of wiggle room for interpretation, and it really depends on the kind of film goer you are.
Yeah.
How much you're going to enjoy it.
Exactly.
For as far as popcorn cinema goes, it pretty much doesn't get better than this.
Oh, for sure. And Tom Cruise is
Which
also
is his
all
favorite
over the marketing over this too, the posters and everything. It's all just like close-ups on his face or like
him hanging from the fucking
him hanging from the pole,
from the plane in that one.
Our thumbnail and stuff for this video.
Fucking
so
crazy.
Yeah, it's he is the main attraction here, which has always been the case, but like it's mainly on display with this, and they know that's the reason everyone's going to see this.
And I will say one thing at the very least that I do believe this movie, for me, did better than Dead Reckoning, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like in Dead Reckoning, the teammates kind of were sidelined. Big time. I feel like of all the Mission Impossible films I've ever seen, Dead Reckoning...
There's more of an emphasis on it in this one, you thought?
It was big time. Like, it felt like Dead Reckoning was just the Ethan show the whole time.
I kind of like that, though, because I felt like the emphasis on them in this final one was, like, decent besides Luther, but, like, the other ones I was not super thrilled by, besides, like, the
I like that, too.
they brought back from Mission Impossible 1.
Oh, you said you weren't as thrilled
Yeah, I
about it
wasn't
this
as
time?
thrilled,
Oh,
yeah.
I liked their involvement.
Well, I just felt like I didn't dislike the characters or anything. I just felt like they ultimately like didn't have a lot to do, I guess.
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, the whole like fight at the cabin against like the Russian special forces was kind of fucking cool.
No, they ultimately like are given things to do because like they're characters in the movie.
Yeah.
But like I guess nothing of like significance to me where I felt like they were like the things they were given they could have easily just had Ethan do that or something too. I don't know. Like I just felt like they, especially like some of the other characters because they had like that guy from Mission Impossible 1, like his wife and stuff too was kind of part of the team.
Yeah, Bo Dunlow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I could see what you mean. I just still think,
And I think they were kind of trying to do like a comedic thing with that character or something too, because like she was not like some like super special trained agent or something.
no, yeah, but I don't think she was really played for comedic effect as much as maybe sometimes things she did came off comedically.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I feel like they were trying to kind of make it so that she was kind of like almost like the odd one. Like I said, like just the fact that she kind of was like just so chill and everything, and like
no, yeah, I guess that's kind of funny.
Or something. So they like basically just had her kind of around. I don't know. Like I just
Yeah.
thought that like there was parts like with that gang where I was just kind of like, especially with Palm Clementie's character, where I was kind of like, she was like hated you in the last movie, and now this is like Fast and Furious, where she's like, I want to be on the team now.
Well, he literally saved her life.
No, I know. It kind of makes sense, but isn't that literally Fast and Furious? Kind of like in a way,
I guess,
too?
but like it's also something that's never really been done before in the series.
Oh, in this series at least.
Mission Impossible,
okay.
That's never really happened. There's never been a former antagonist who becomes a supporting character.
Okay.
That is literally the first time that's ever happened in the whole series.
That's
so
good
I actually kind of liked it.
Okay, that's good to know.
It's
least.
not. It's not an
That's not a
established
common
thing.
thread
No,
or something. Okay.
it never happens in the whole series. So that was like actually kind of cool how they expanded her role and made her more of a supporting character.
Okay, I guess knowing that now, I guess I can go on in a little bit more easy because I just thought like I did not have that perspective before.
In fact, it's much more common that a supporting character ends up becoming a bad guy. That's super common.
Yeah, exactly.
But the inverse is not common at
No,
all.
exactly. But I didn't mind her character and stuff, but like it kind of goes back to what I said a little earlier of like even her, which I liked. I thought they didn't give much to do. She
was just kind of
doesn't talk much. Like,
no,
she's kind of a mute character.
But she's kind of just a badass. She does save Benji's life.
Yeah,
which is kind of awesome.
Like
she has that moment. I do find it kind of hilarious.
But I just feel like
they did that trope where like she hates Gabriel because because of how he abandoned her or whatever, and like
she was on kind of his side before.
But she trusted him, but then he abused that trust because he thought she would betray him. Because Ethan saved her life and like left her for dead, and Ethan saved her again.
Yeah.
So she just wants to fucking kill Gabriel, and it's like for the first like 3/4 of the film, there's several occasions where Ethan has to like stop her from killing Gabriel because like Ethan needs Gabriel to stop the entity.
Yo.
And he's like, his time will come. His time will come. Like he says that a couple times, and then there's a scene near the very end where now he doesn't need Gabriel. Gabriel does not need to be alive anymore. And as Gabriel's trying to get away, Ethan's like, kill him! And she like lifts her rifle and goes to shoot him. Click, she's out of ammo. Because they had just been in a firefight. So then she has to like reload, and he gets in the fucking truck and starts driving away. And I'm like, dude, of course.
God damn it.
It's like she's been ready to fucking shoot him between the eyes this whole movie. And she had a shot lined up so many times. And then the one time.
You blew it.
The one time. He's like, do it, kill him now. She's out of ammo. Of course.
Oh, we also didn't touch on the fact that Gabriel died too.
Okay, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's
mainly because he's just so corny, like you said. Where
he died in the most I feel like they did that on purpose. I feel like
it's almost like they knew he was kind of corny.
Yes.
Stupid. Yeah.
So they gave him this super over the top cartoonish death.
Cartoonish, exactly.
But it was also it
was funny.
It was brutal too.
Yeah,
it's actually
it was
one of
brutal,
the most,
but funny as shit.
One of the most brutal things I've ever seen in these movies. But it was
I'm surprised it kept the PG-13 rating.
Well, they didn't really show much blood.
True. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can do fucked up things and have someone go through a shredder or whatever.
As long as there's not a ton of blood, they're usually like, okay. Like, I mean, they did that in Last Jedi. Remember, like when they would kick like the
There's
Imperial
still
guards.
there's
into
still
the,
exceptions recently that like somehow studios just get away with it. Like I thought the Batman, the most recent one, should have been rated R.
Oh yeah,
but
because this literal like a
it was
dude
just
getting
hard.
strapped to a chair. With
Yeah,
a
it was just
bomb on his
hard
chest.
PG-13.
Like this man literally got turned into a reluctant suicide
Yeah,
bomber.
yeah.
Like that's one of the most thematically fucked up
And the way it
things
just
you could ever
opens
put in a
up
film.
and everything.
Oh yeah,
I
like
feel
this kid's parents getting murdered.
Yeah, like that's just traumatized kids right from the get-go.
Dude's
If you brought your
dad
kid
gets his
there,
fucking head beaten in by like a, I forget what he even uses. It's like a, oh, it's like a floorboard,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like pry like a pry
so
bar.
baked. Fucking the like weird Riddler,
Sorry, it's a paint scraper.
like incel weird Riddler.
Yep. Yeah, streamer Riddler.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's I think pretty much all I have to say about Final Reckoning. That's
Okay,
like
cool.
my 10, 15, 20 cents on that film.
We already
liked
gave
it a
our
lot.
ratings, which was we're a little bit below everyone else, but
I think it's a fine entry in the series, and honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if they did a ninth one. I would go see it. I love these movies.
I think everyone like almost expects that this isn't the last one, even though they said it is. So like,
We'll see.
just do another one if you have some cool stunt that we want to see.
Yeah, if you got a good idea, maybe bring it back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like I don't think you can ever replicate the stakes that this movie
When
had
you bring
ever
the
again.
stakes this high, like, it's just you got to bring it back down to a more grounded level
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing. Like you can still have a very intriguing high stakes film without it being just ludicrous.
Yeah.
You know, like feels like a Powerpuff Girls episode. Like it's like holy shit. He wants to do what?
Tom, what? Jesus.
But yeah, so that's all I have to say about that.
But thank you for joining me, Dan.
No problem. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you as always.
We'll be
my
talking about
friend.
Fantastic Four very, very
I
soon.
can't wait.
3 days, baby.
Yeah.
Time to see if all the hype and all the wait was worth it. This is do or
yeah.
die for Disney.
And go make sure to check out our Superman review, 28 years later, and Predator Killer of Killers, and I think there's one more. Was there another review we did? I don't know. I think that's it, actually. But check those out. And thank you for joining us, Pose. We love you.
Thanks, guys.
See you on the next
Till
one,
next
guys.
time.
Peace.